Hello everyone! Hope we're having a fantastic 4th of July. As you can see, I am being very festive today with my amazing 4th of July getup. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on where we left off on Sunday. I want to continue on with MSQ because I haven't been able to do, I haven't been able to play as much as I've been wanting to. But now, let's go ahead and continue. Last time we headed back to Garlemald to help out with trying to get the refugees from Thavnair to the moon teleporter that we used toward the beginning of the story. Now this time, and then when we came back here, they were getting attacked by a bunch of blasphemies because guess what? The end of days is in Garlemald now. Yay. And then while we were doing that, we ended up running into Xenos. And he basically was like, nah, don't feel like it now. And that's where we left off. Now we're gonna head back with Fortunal to talk with someone, I can't remember exactly. But now we'll go ahead and continue on, talk to Lucia, and see what we need to do. Outside help. Lucia is taking stock of the present situation.
No major injuries then. Good. I briefed the recovered soldiers and sent them on their way as quickly as I could, but nevertheless feared they would not make it in time.
The additional support was invaluable. Your men saved more than a few lives. Though not all, I regret to say.
I take it that I'm addressing Lucia Junius. I'm the Forum's envoy, Fortuno Leveilleur.
Envoy?
And you are owed an explanation for these most dire developments.
Another trial wrought by the final days. I was beginning to suspect as much. You doubtless feel some consternation having been forced to abandon your original plan. But trust me when I say you were right to send the refugees elsewhere. Beasts have been sighted within the capital. Perhaps it was a stroke of grim fortune that the population was decimated.
Oops.
In any case, Maxima leads the remainder of the contingent in an effort to cull the creatures and evacuate the populace as we speak. Once the airships have taken to the skies, I pray your men can be persuaded to join him.
You'll permit us to retain our weapons?
I mean, that's an understandable reaction, but...
I wouldn't have sent you after the Scions were I expecting you to stab them in the back.
And I, for one, would not consider past transgressions more relevant than future contributions. Regardless of the circumstances that saw us at odds before, we need men of courage now, more than ever.
Smile and nod, smile and nod.
We swore to defend Garlemald, and so we shall.
It seems you have everything under control. You will excuse me then, for mine own duties await.
A moment, Master Fortuno. You did desire to express your appreciation for services rendered, did you not?
I did. Though if you intend to again ask that Charlian alter its course, you will find my gratitude insufficient.
'Tis nothing so onerous. I wish to hear the details of this grand endeavor of yours.
Do you swear to listen and to learn, and not to embark upon some scheme to impede us?
I mean, we've kind of given up on that.
I swear.
Besides, they are genuinely trying to help.
Any other I would doubt, but you I trust to keep your word. For not once have you broken it. Very well. I will request that the Forum make you privy to our plans. You may await our summons at the Baldessian Annex, assuming the decision is in your favor. Does that suffice?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
It does. You have my thanks.
Excellent. You can regale us with tales of your most recent sojourn to the First while we wait.
Oh yeah, we still have to actually give them the details and everything. So we just kind of ran into battle and didn't get to talk. Oh, there we go.
Did you
Oh,
hear something just now?
What? Oh, okay. Gotta have some comedic relief. How did he get here, though?
Where is this star's blasted pudding?
Why are they... Oh, this is probably Urianger's plan.
Dawn may banish
Yep.
even the darkest night, and to this bitter clime bring warmth and comfort.
You haven't seen Urianger for a long time. Perfectly timed lightning.
To see such an assembly upon my return. I thought often of you whilst I looked down upon our star's brilliance from the moon above.
Yes, but what are you doing here? And dressed like that? Aren't you cold?
Verily, I fear for my health should I proceed to expound upon our purpose ere I procure more suitable garments.
Then allow me to summarize. We're here because none of you lot are up there. Nor has anyone deigned to send word about any changes in the plans. It's rude, is what it is. At least that's what I thought at first, but then folks got to wondering if you weren't in a spot of bother, so we decided to take matters into our own hands. Come down here and help, if our help be needed. So she says, but it's also something of a convenient excuse to visit Aetherius. Urianger made it sound absolutely marvelous. More so before the impending doom, but still. And it's not like there will ever be a better time. What with the aforementioned doom?
Marvellous, they say, yet not an ounce of pudding to be found. I must suffer Urianger's inferior works no more.
Hey! Maybe consider the plight of present company before you go blathering on about pudding and doom? Ahem. As I was saying, should you require any assistance with whatever, we are at your disposal. We were born from Hydaelyn's love for the lives of this star. So naturally, we would much prefer to see them continue. Twiddling our thumbs up on the moon is hardly conducive to that, though, is it? Not when you've all got such precious thoughts and feelings and hopes for the future deserving of more active preservation. Speaking to Urianger made us realize that while we've carried out our duties to the letter, we've failed to fulfill them in spirit. From there, it was just a hop, skip, and a jump towards resolving to do better. So please, show
Hop,
us
skip,
how.
and jump.
Help us help you.
What are these
Forgive me.
creatures?
But are they...
Yes, they are.
Thy distant collaborators, indeed.
Hail, fellow. Well met. You'd be a member of the Forum, would you? It's an honor and a pleasure to meet you at last. I'm Livingway, Haglin's right paw. That last bit is very important. As am I, if I may humbly say so myself.
I bid you welcome to our star, Livingway. On behalf of the Forum, I thank you for traveling such a distance to meet us. As you have surmised, preparations for the Exodus have not proceeded as smoothly as we had hoped. I should be happy to personally escort you to our headquarters in Charlian, where you may advise us as you deem fit.
Just putting away in the back there.
'Twas with reluctance that I set aside the great work of readying the moon for habitation. Be assured that I did so only after the Loperids made plain their earnest desire to come hither, and I myself felt a growing certainty that their contributions here would prove invaluable.
Oh, so does he have something in mind?
'Tis trite, perhaps, but I followed my heart.
Good to have you. Good to have you back. May thy disciplines banish. Disciples, banish this darkest of nights. Either one's good.
I am no esteemed philosopher of Eld. Nevertheless, 'tis my hope that what little knowledge I shared shall serve them well, and perchance help save us all. Will thou attend us at the Forum and lend thine own wisdom?
If that's all quite settled, can we start moving before Urianger catches his death? Even I'm freezing out here.
Oh, I dare say you'll warm up quickly once you report the airship. Sat shoulder to shoulder with our fur-covered friends.
I wonder what Urianger has in mind for them to do. Or if that's what he even meant. Nope, we're already back. I dare say, Master Fortunold was not so... What's the other read? Urianger, please. I dare say, Master Fortunold was not as nonplussed as we to learn the identity of Hydalen's lunar custodians. As he will soon discover, they have much and more to offer the Forum. Might I suggest we return to the Annex forthwith? We may yet have time to discuss thy recent adventures ere we are summoned to the rostra. Oh, I just noticed that sightseeing point over there. Thought I got that. Oh, I guess there was one over here. Okay, I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and grab that just real quick because I doubt we're gonna go over there for the story. Anyway, let's head over. Gonna get that sightseeing point, and then we'll go over to the Pedestrian Annex and tell everyone about our adventures on the first. Let's see, it was over here on this dock, right? Yeah, I saw it there. A backflip is a front dash if you use it right. Oh, could actually stand on it. The waves are looking nice and calm. Accidents around here are rare, but it pays to remain vigilant. Actually I've been doing a bunch of hunts. And I actually looked up what the requirements for to unlock the next hunt, the level 3 hunts or whatever they call them for Endwalker. And I think I actually have to finish the story before I can actually do that. Anyway, let's head into the annex. And let's see, we're gonna have a cutscene as soon as we get in. Yep. Now, is this one going to be voiced? Yeah, I didn't think so. Not that I'm complaining, Urianger, but I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Nor I thee. In extolling the virtues of Atheres, I did inadvertently awaken the Loports, a desire to avert our beloved star's demise. Kryl tells us you have obtained new knowledge that may aid us in our ongoing efforts. I've news to share regarding our study of the ethereal sea, but your findings are certain to be of greater interest, and so I would rather hear them first. To what revelations did Heidelin's Elpis flower lead? Oh my. Quite a bit. Here, watch this cutscene. Then this dynamis is what drives the final days? If it and Akasa are one and the same, this all but proves Nidana's theory. We're an entity, through sheer force of emotion, to channel this vast dormant reservoir into a raging river. Its power might surpass even that of ether. But if our star is so replete of ether, said entity would need to be outside its influence to effectively manipulate the dynamis of the great expanse. Did you not hear the whole story? There's this little blue bird at the edge of the universe. Meteon. Or rather, the sorrow and suffering of fallen civilizations that she has been hoarding for millennia. Untold anguish and fear and hatred, drawn from every corner of the universe, all for a single purpose, the destruction of Atheres. Then our foe is no longer some unknowable calamity. We have but one aim, to defeat Meteon. You make it sound so simple, but you're not wrong. Vanquish Meteon, and we deliver the world from the final days. But to even attempt it, there are two conditions. First, we must determine her location. Well, good thing we got Heidelin's tracking device, right? Before Meteon escaped, an enchantment was placed upon her by Vana, the woman who would become Heidelin. The implications of temporal magics are not entirely understood, and so one cannot assume that our Heidelin and the Vana you met in Elpis are one and the same. Nevertheless, due to her intrinsic qualities as an all-powerful being, I do wager... Due to her qualities of being an all-powerful being. It sounds so silly. I'd wager that Heidelin possesses the knowledge we seek. Whether she would share that knowledge with us, however, remains to be seen. And Kryl might have an idea. After all, she intends for us to flee Atheres, not to stay. Do you suppose that she has abandoned her pursuit of Meteon? The Vana I know would never give up, well that's for sure. No, but Meteon is still out there. That's my impression too. Otherwise, she wouldn't have used me as a conduit for her will, or provided clues such as the Elpis flower. I believe she has been waiting for mankind's answer to Hermes' question. Okay. So, what's the second condition? We must find a means to reach Meteon. Naturally, our chosen method will depend entirely upon wheresoever she has made her nest. Then communicating with Hydaelyn must by necessity come first. Did you and Master Matoya have any luck with your investigation into the Ethereal Sea? Sadly not, though we enlisted the help of Arenvald and other Echo-blessed allies. We couldn't detect so much as a whisper from Hydaelyn, even from within the Anti-Tower. Master Matoya is of the opinion that in the years since abandoning it, the Forum has found some other method of receiving instructions from Hydaelyn. If so, it would most likely be some form of apparatus for observing the Ethereal Sea, built closer to home. Well, it's a good thing there's this very convenient location that we haven't explored yet that could potentially have the device that we're looking for. Sorry to interrupt. We've just received word from the Forum. Your presence is required in the Rostra, where they intend to discuss the Great Exodus. Perfect timing. Then Father was able to persuade them. They're finally taking us seriously. Let's hear what they have to say. Well, it looks like the Forum's finally ready to communicate. Too bad tons of people have died already. Well, let's go ahead and talk to everyone and then head on over to the Rostra. To think the Crystal Tower of the First is capable of such feats as sending one's soul into the distant past. The events you witnessed and helped shape may yet hold the key to forestalling the final days. I'm reminded of our dear friends in a future Ion Maid, whose selfless efforts saw the 8th Umbral Calamity averted. In this timeline, at least. Too much has been sacrificed for us to abandon the theories now. After sending Graha and Astidian back to Garlemald, I stayed in the Locus Amen. I can never say this right. Amonis, sure, for a time. Being an Imperial province, it was already in turmoil before the onset of the final days. You wouldn't believe the difficulties we had overseeing the evacuation of the villages we visited. I have faith the detachment we left behind will continue our work and shepherd the people to safety. To what safety can be found in a world coming to an end? Master Matoya has suspected for some time that the Forum has been constructing a new facility for the purpose of surveying the Ethereal Sea. Of course, as the custodian of the Anti-Tower, which would presumably be rendered obsolete as a result, she has few things to say about that. The thing that should be repeated in polite company, you understand. Oh, I don't think any of us would mind some Matoya sass. After you left for Garlemald, I went to Labyrinthos and tried to reach Hydaelyn using the Elpis flowers. Alas, my attempts were in vain. I can only assume that she spent a vast amount of her power in the confrontation with Fandaniel and is presently unable to communicate. Indeed, as her presence left my body, I could feel how faint it had grown. I hope you don't mind me staying behind while you attend your big meeting. The Rostra reminds me a bit too much of the supremely scary tribunal in Ishgard. That was so long ago. You'll forgive me if I keep my distance. That was so long ago. Father has granted us the opportunity we've been waiting for. Though we do not know what information, if any, they intend to reveal, there's only one way to find out. To the Rostra. Well, This is much quicker a response than I was expecting. Nice to know our efforts in the Magna Glacius didn't go unnoticed. At first, I wasn't sure what to make of Hermes and his motives. But it's like we discussed at the Great Work. When faced with the harsh realities of life, some seek the release of death. Others grow defiant. They fight. Either way, it's our right to choose. 'Twas Heidelin's commandment that in the event Zodiac should perish, the Loports were to deliver the people of Aetheres from harm. Though that be the limit of their duties, they possess knowledge unparalleled of the great expanse and the means of its traversal. Should they be persuaded to assist in our efforts to reach Meteon, we should do well to heed their counsel. Oh well, if they know about the space, then maybe they can pilot the spaceship that they that the Forum is making. Didn't they say they had the spaceship or something? Anyway, let's head on over to the Rostra. Alright, oh, yep, there's the attendant. Or the steward. The forum is in session, and as such, the rostra is closed to visitors. Yeah, well, I'm not a visitor, bro. A sign of the 7th dawn? Very well. You may wait in the corridor. Of course, entry will only be permitted on the condition you leave your armaments at the door. Lest you forget, this sacred institution holds rational discourse in the highest. The implements of war are expressly forbidden. Wait in the specified location. Sounds good to me. Didn't they say that they was in session? Why is no one here? Why is there no one here? Anyway, let's wait outside. Still love the night theme music.
There is a matter I wish to raise with you before we enter.
Okay, what is it?
We are here to listen and to learn. But if the Forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends. By your leave, of course.
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Thank you, everyone.
If I may have your attention, the ad hoc session will now commence. The purpose of today's assembly is to brief the Scions of the 7th Dawn, at their request, on the Great Exodus. You may enter. On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glaciers. We shall not soon forget your service to us, and the people of Radzat-Han. The Satrap, whom we have informed of the refugees' new arrangements, sings your praises as well.
Oh, of course he would.
As an expression of our gratitude, We will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly as we are able.
Then let us begin. First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
You are. It is for this purpose that Sharlayan has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenon and conveyed to safety. Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Sharlayan citizenry, which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after. Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn, beginning with our allies. Radzat Han was foremost among these, but since the final days have already come to Thavnair, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
So systematic.
An ambitious plan. You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
Oh no, of course not.
As many as we can.
And how, pray tell, do you decide who to leave behind?
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
Yeah, she doesn't like that answer, but she understands
Questions as to the validity of that approach aside.
Yeah, that's not important right now.
Are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct.
Oh, so it does work.
This arc, as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational and could be launched even today. However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
Sounds like a job for the Loperts.
Seven hells. Is there anything to be done?
The ether burner, the primary means of propulsion once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient. Though cargo is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus, we are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem?
Oh. I'm sorry. What? How?
We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on 2 conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
'Twas simple enough to deduce. You have a Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the anti-tower had you no other means of communication. One far more convenient, I suspect.
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your Ark.
Ah, there we go. This is what I thought he was going to suggest.
We would be at liberty to refuse this proposal.
Of course, if we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here. Who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
Delightful as always, Master Alfino. Oh, we couldn't have asked for a finer plan. Allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? The satire writes itself.
And he's going to be completely on board with it.
Yet, what field has not benefited from a change in perspective? When we are at wit's end, what we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration. I, for one, have faith in my erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their terms to be perfectly acceptable.
Order! Order! We have no time to waste on debate. I call a vote. All in favor of agreeing to the Scion's terms?
I mean, do they really have any other choice? They're basically at wit's end, and it's not going to work.
"71 in favor, 28 against. The ayes have it. Fortuneau, as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state. And bear in mind that regardless of your personal misgivings, this is the will of the Forum.
Very well.
He's probably reluctant because it looks like a failure on his part, since he's
Pull
the
this
primary
session to a
architect and
close.
all.
Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
Ooh, man, this game's a lot of fun. I could see so many people just being like, all they're doing is talking. Like, bro, are you not listening? Rest assured, I have every intention of honoring the Forum's decision. Oh, I don't doubt that. My affinity for espionage may have earned me the title of an Archon, but I was completely unaware of the Forum's plans. There may have been clues here and there, had I been of a mind to look for them, but contemplating that possibility only serves to further wound my pride. Not that anyone could have realistically surmised that the brilliant stratagem was to build the great ship, fly to the moon, a still larger vessel in truth, and use that to travel to another star. Even now, the whole idea seems positively absurd when spoken aloud. Welcome to a JRPG. Of late, I have seen no sign of the Lobrits. This being their first opportunity to experience the wonders of Charlian, the potential for misadventure is nigh infinite. Yep, that's about right. Perhaps if Midgar Sombra were still alive. I mean, he's in my pocket. I mean, he's right here. In the traditional sense, that is, he could have offered help to help the vessel attain the necessary speed. Then again, there's no guarantee his contribution would make enough of a difference to matter. The further we pursue the mysteries of the universe, the more I struggle to comprehend the fortuitous nature of time itself. We measure and quantify it based on observations of celestial bodies, such as the sun and moon. But from your account, it is unclear whether the ancients viewed time in a similar manner. I mention this because while Vana knew the final days would reoccur at a defined point in the future, she presumably had no way of knowing exactly when. Even so, the completion of the Forum's preparations to escape the moon aligned so closely with the advent of the final days is surely no coincidence. That's a really good point, I hadn't thought of that. I'm a little vexed that we've yet to learn of the Forum's replacement for the Anti-Tower, though I expect that in time they'll share that with us too. That too with us. And with Master Matoya, if they've any sense. Yeah, if they've any sense. Phew, I'll admit, bringing up the issue of the Forum's incomplete arc was more than a little daunting. They were, to their credit, quite open about the current state of affairs. What was even more surprising, though, was when they took Alpha Node up on his offer. That's true. While I very much take issue with the Forum's approach to selecting whom to save and when, they're not wrong for wanting to minimize potential conflicts. Fortunately, if this plan of ours actually works, the Great Exodus itself will become entirely unnecessary. That's true. That's why you shouldn't bother with it right now, because what we're trying to do is completely avoid the need to have to do that. Sorry about not letting the rest of you in on our plan. I was, admittedly, thinking on my feet for the most part. Alpha Node, we figured that. But since we require both a means of communicating with Heidelin and reaching Meteon, in the spur of the moment, I saw involving ourselves with the completion of the arc as a way to work towards both objectives simultaneously. I just picture Fortunal hearing this and just turning going, "You did what?" In the spur of the moment, I saw involving ourselves, yeah. However, we must first keep our end of the bargain by solving the problem of the Aether Burner. I'd like to think it is not a challenge beyond our combined expertise, or at least the expertise of our extended circle of associates. It might behoove us to learn how an Aether Burner actually works before we attempt to improve it, though. True. That would probably help a little. Does it have something different? As Father seems so eager to help, maybe we can have him educate us about the Aether Burner. See, and then everybody else probably has the same dialogue. Yeah. Hey, Fortunal, you gonna tell us about stuff? Going underground. Fortunal's ability to maintain a stiff upper lip is being sorely tested. He really is. As instructed, I shall take you to see the Aether Burner. Meet me outside of the Archeon. I trust you can make it there your own way there. So the Ark is being built in Labyrinthos. Hardly surprising. Where else could they conceal such a massive undertaking? Well, time to finally head back to Labyrinthos. That was part of one of the intro quests. Was my hand the wrong way? Oh, there's an Aether. Not an Aether. There's a sightseeing point right there. I wonder how many I've gotten so far. I didn't realize I never actually ticked off the rest of those ARR ones. Okay, I'm not even halfway done. But I've gotten a fair amount of them. I mean, that's why I picked them up in the first place. I make sure to pick up the quests so that I can do them while I am doing the main scenario quest, and if I can spot any of them, then I'll just go ahead and get them while I'm there. I know there's been at least 2 that I have had difficulty reaching without flying, which is why I didn't get them. I remember one of them was in Thavnair, just up on top of a rock or something. Anyway, let's head on down to Labyrinthos. Your entrance papers appear to be in order. Do you wish to descend into Labyrinthos, madam? Yes. Alright, where are we going? Oh, gotta head over there. Oh, right, the Archeon. It's been so long since we got here. Wait, is this an Aether Current quest? Let me check. Let's see. Endwalker, Labyrinthos. Yes, that's an Aether Current quest. So I actually need to go and do that at some point. If we pass by there, I'll do it while we are doing MSQ. First, we got a ton more NPCs to talk to. I don't understand the appeal of reshaping it to look like the world above. Make your peace with what it is, or go outside if that's what you prefer. Yeah, that sounds like Estinian. That we have been granted permission to enter the lower levels is proof of our increased standing. Would that they had been willing to confide in us sooner. Among the many and varied documents sent to the moon, I did chance upon several inventories made in the Archeon. Mayhap the Forum believed such records would provide insight into the intricacies and clerical duties. Regardless, the Lowports did not consider them worthy of more than a cursory glance. That sounds about right. It has been many moons since I last visited Labyrinthos. As vast as the archives were back then, they've only continued to grow in the days since. Some would surely object to the Forum allowing foreign elements to have the run of their secret facilities. We should consider ourselves lucky. Do they intend to carry everything in the Archeon to the moon? They said they'd started loading scientific records and biological specimens, but do they really need all of it? It seems so long ago we first set foot here. So, I just realized, when I was doing editing for... I started editing up the Charlene questline a bit ago, and while I was editing it, I read out all of the books that I checked when we were trying to find a book on the final days. One of the things actually told the story of the origin of Old Charlian, and one of them actually talked about an arc, and how, as I said, Rogan name here, some Rogan name that I can't remember. They built an arc to withstand a flood, and this is like, the writing here is interesting. That they included that in their history, and then now they're building another arc to get away from another disaster. Anyway, let's talk to Alphanode and finish up these NPC talks. Where once we were refused entry, we are now welcomed as guests. Yep. Okay, Fortunal, where are we going? Our destination lies in the lower levels. The Forum, in its wisdom, has granted you access to the Archeon's lift. Step inside and have Opaline take you to the medial circuit. These names, man. Alright, so we're supposed to head over there, but I never got done with this. Actually, yeah, let me just do this. Because I think we had to sneak down here before. So if I go down here, then I should be near... the Aether Current quest. Do you wish to use the lift, Les? Yes. Yep. That'll take me down instead of having to go all the way around like we did the first time. Okay, Fortunal, where'd everyone go? I've sent your associates ahead to the Logisticon Alpha, on the other side of the Meryl Agronomics. Jeez, these names. Actually, there is something I've been meaning to... what is it, Fortunal? Please, speak up. No, never mind. It can wait. Let us attend to the matter at hand. Now, Fortunal, we have time. Well, no we don't, but... Oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna pass right by the Aether Current quest, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up and do it before we continue on. Because I believe... Let's check the Aether Currents that we have for Labyrinthos. We have... I have four of the overworld ones and then none of the quests. And I think we got... Yeah, I think we got all the ones that we could. Let's see, let's actually get a zoom in on this map. Yeah, I think we got all the ones we could. But either way, we're passing by here, so let's go ahead and do this quest. Is there an S rank or something? Oh no. I can't get over there anyway. Lost little troll. The distracted archivist seems troubled. Oh dearie me. My sweetest shaggles, one of the Archeon's precious samples has fled. Sir? You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? My apologies. I'm an Noelitia, an archivist. The Archeon is home to various samples collected from all across the star, and one such specimen has just escaped. A young troll, to be specific. Oh, I hope he hasn't been set upon by the local predators. Listen, I promise to compensate you, so could you please help me retrieve the specimen? Sure. I like the idea of compensation. My thanks. I will continue my search of this area. I'd like you to check the 33rd facet. Once you have had comprehensive look about, please meet me in the Archeon to report your findings. I like the sound of compensation. Alright, I guess I gotta go search back in those caves. Yeah, so I got the... Yeah, there was a current in the cave, and I got the one that was on the lower level. So we'll see exactly what I still need to do. All I need to do later. I'll try and get them all while we do MSQ, but like Thavnir, there was one that I forgot at the very beginning that I had to go back and get. But hopefully I'll be able to get most of them for this in Labyrinthos, because we did find for Elpis. Then again, with both Thavnir and Elpis, we went there once and then had to come back. So it's going to be a little more complicated to figure this out. Alright, this is our destination. You see no troll, great or small. Perhaps a bit further in. Okay. I'm trying to remember why we ended up going around this long way instead of the short way. I think it was just that there were enemies in the way or something. Let's head up on top of here. I think I did this back in like February. It's been like 4 months. Something like that. Yeah, almost 5 months. The errant troll is nowhere to be seen. Noelitia may have had better luck. Oh, really gotta head all the way up there. That's fine. Oh, there's a triple triad there. Also did do a little bit of triple triad grinding recently. Anyway, you had any luck, Mr. Tia? I see. I was unable to find the specimen either. However, I did meet someone who claimed to have seen it in Mornvale Forest. Let us head there and see if we can track it down. Oh, guess we gotta head all the way over here. So I know that there's an Aether Current like all the way over here that I clearly didn't get. Oh right, you can't jump over those walls. But we'll get there when we get there. First we gotta finish this quest. Any luck? Yes, there can be no doubt. This is Shackles' footprints. Ahem. I've uncovered the specimen's trail. It should be close. If you find it under threat from local fauna, you may dispatch its assailants. Well, it sounds like that's probably what's going to have happened. That don't look like no troll. Oh no! Poor Shaggles has been set upon by trolls! Trolls! Quick, to the rescue! Somehow I don't get the feeling that you're gonna be very helpful in this situation, bro. There we go. Okay, Shaggles, you're safe. Oh, I'm so glad you're unharmed. Whoops. You're all safe now. Come on, let's go home, sweetie. Kremlin's buffoon. Grr. The Archon is under threat. I must do something. Grr. You can talk? What is this threat? Hey, you can talk? Grr, you can understand me? Wait, you're able to communicate with him? Wait, why? Incredible! I've never met someone with such skill before. This bundle of joy was born in Labyrinthos. However, it was abandoned by his mother and in quite the state by the time we found him. He possesses a remarkable intelligence for one of his kind. We've elected to use him as part of a study in the effects of growing up in an artificial environment. I had seen him making gestures that indicated he'd been reading the tomes here, but I thought he was just copying those around him. To think he actually understands speech. Though I do wonder exactly why you are able to understand him and I am not. Don't ask those kinds of questions. I'm sort of special. Really? Oh, what I wouldn't give to understand him too. Grr, you possess the echo, don't you? I find it difficult to grr the way you kinda do, but I suppose it makes sense that you understand my general sentiments. I happen to learn of said power from the tomes in the Archeon. Honestly, that buffoon over there is surrounded by a sea of knowledge, and he makes no effort to engage with it. Grr. That hurts my throat. I need to stop that. At any rate, I'm glad to finally... I think doing some posh, clear accent is funnier. At any rate, I'm glad to finally have someone to talk to. As I was saying earlier, the Archeon is in grave danger. Some gleaner managed to bring woodworms in with them during a visit. If we leave them be, they are bound to cause irreparable damage to the materials at the facility. I tried my best to tell that buffoon, but it was no use. That's why I took a chance and went in search of some of my own kind to see if they would help. But you saw how that turned out. Well, what is he saying? He's calling you buffoon. Buffoon. Oh, dearie me. Still, it was most courageous of him to try and solve the issue on his own. Now that we are aware of it, we need to sort this out, this pest problem at once. Would you mind helping out a little longer? You're the only one who can understand him, after all, and he seems moons ahead of us with regard to the situation at hand. Sure. I'll come back in a couple of years when I feel like doing all the side quests. Right now, I just want my Aether Current. Well, I'll come back and do that maybe, possibly, eventually. I haven't unlocked the hamlet yet, so yep, let's head back to the Archeon. That'd be a little bit of a shortcut, because we gotta run all the way down to the south. I don't think, yeah, there's not one over there. There's actually, that's actually where one of the entrances is. So yeah, there's a good chance I'm gonna have to come back and get the one that's on the north side. Just like we did in Thavnir. But it doesn't really matter that much. Anyway, let's head on down south. Oh, I need to kill those for some nutsacks. And one more. Oh. There we go, 3 sacks. And some XP. A non-trivial amount of XP, also this is the wrong way. Oh, I didn't go down. Oops. I can't just fall down here, right? No. Crud. I gotta go back. Unless I go through the cave. Yeah, I'll just go through the cave. I forgot I was supposed to go down the elevator. I tried front lines for the first time yesterday. They're kind of fun, but I was playing Black Mage, and I usually just use tab targeting to target, which is not a good idea. If you can target some other way, it would be better. I usually use tab targeting. In Black Mage, one of the mechanics is that you need to apply stacks onto several different people, and then you proc those stacks with one of the huge AoE ability that you have. But because it was difficult for me to switch between people, I had to like try and manually click on them, but then I would accidentally click on my allies because the name plates are too big. And then I ended up, it just made it difficult to play the class. Plus, Black Mage is just really squishy in general. I mean, I can work around that. It was the targeting thing that really annoyed me. Need to figure out something, a different way to deal with that. I tried playing Crystalline Conflict when it came out, and when they redid the PvP stuff. And I tried to play Dragoon, but I just, like, it was almost stressful. Like, too stressful for me to enjoy. I'm also just plain wasn't very good at it. Oh, right. Where do we need to go from here? There's everyone. Stinian over to the side. The fields were passed along the way brought back memories of Ferndale. Unfortunately, we were never blessed with such abundant crops. The further underground we go, the more surprises we find. We must be close to the central circuit, which is where Charlene's greatest secrets are held, if tomes I perused told the whole story. On our journey here, I was filled with the inexplicable sense of elation to see vegetables other than carrots being cultivated. Why, it near brought a tear to mine eye. Understandable reaction. Knowing the Forum, even the people working down here are probably kept in the dark about the true purpose of this place. Yeah, that sounds about right. I wonder what this place is actually for. Oh, there you are. Having words with Master Forchnald by any chance? You are to wait here while our father arranges for us to use the next lift. Here being Logisticon Alpha, where the atmospheric conditions of Labyrinthos are regulated. That's like a perfect place for sabotage. Water is drawn from underground and dispersed as vapors, stimulating the formation of artificial clouds and rain. By manipulating the temperature and air circulation, they are able to create the ideal environment for the growth and preservation of biological samples kept here. Hold on, how do you know so much about this? Why, Father brought me here as a child, and not me. What? And left me behind? Actually, you're the one who left me behind when you went off somewhere with Grandfather. The night before, I'd been asking Father how clouds are made, so he decided to show me. It was fascinating. I peppered him with questions the entire time. That poor man. 'Tis too easy to take for granted the many interweaving aspects of the natural world, to grow inured to the wondrous. But having gained an understanding of the complex mechanisms employed by the Lobrits in recreating a similar environment, I have come to view such processes with new light. The subterranean gardens of Labyrinthos, the lunar prison forged to contain the ancient Zodiac, the habitations built for all mankind beneath the moon's surface, each quite unique, yet undeniably similar. 'Tis no mere coincidence. Ever since Heidelin unfolded to us the grim fate that awaits the theories, every essential resource we could spare has been delivered to Labyrinthos, in preparation for the great exodus. But that is not all. It is also the testing ground for the technologies that will allow us to settle on distant stars. And there comes the plot for the next expansion. Though the Lobrits have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable... What? Have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable... Oh, right. I wouldn't say inhabitable there, but maybe that's the correct way you're supposed to say it. Though the Lobrits have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable... Yeah, that's correct. That's correct, never mind. That is not our final destination. Mankind must learn to propagate life where there is none, to thrive where all is barren. Alas, time is not on our side. I've arranged for you all to enter the central circuit. It is there that most of our preparations for the great exodus are carried out, the construction of the Ark among them. Though our plans have been made public, access remains highly restricted. You, however, will not be the subject to set restrictions, and will have free rein to come and go as you please. Such as the will of the Forum, after all. We will prove ourselves worthy of their trust. Your trust. Then let us proceed. Okay, let's head on down. By decree of the Forum, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn are permitted to enter the central circuit. Yep, let's proceed. Man, they're just gonna keep on having me talk. The temperate environment here is not unlike that of Bestway's Burrow, though the division of vegetation doth produce a far more complex bouquet of aromas. A welcome difference indeed, for I have grown weary of the scent of carrots. I have no idea what makes Alphinaud so confident we can solve this problem of theirs. Relentless optimism, I presume, a not unwelcome trait in a youth, but less so in a gambler. Aye, let us resolve never to let him set foot in the golden saucer. Yeah, that's about right. I imagine the secrets kept here would be of great benefit to mine own research, but I will refrain from indulging my curiosity for the time being. The sooner we can get a look at this abundance of theirs, the sooner we can start working out how to improve it. Oh, Aether Burner. I completely read that wrong. I think I said abundance. We might finally have a chance to commune directly with Hydaelyn, provided we somehow manage to succeed where Sharlayan's finest engineers have failed. Still, it won't hurt to have a look. This is it, the Central Circuit. Please tell me we're almost there, or is there another underground level we have to reach? Even more Central Circuit, perhaps? The farther down we travel, the more expensive the sky becomes, artificial though it is. Would that the heavens elsewhere been so... I've seen this word before, I don't know how to say it. Idyllic, sure. The Aether Burner is being constructed not far from here. Overseeing the work is Kokol Donkol, after whom the forge is named. Once the necessary introductions have been made, I shall leave you with him to discuss the particulars. This way. Oh, right. Is there an Aether current around here? Northwest. Yes, there is. I'm supposed to head south, but I want to head northwest to try and get this Aether current. Supposed to be one, like, right here. Like on the edge of this tower over here. Yep, there it is. I'm gonna grab that, even though we're probably gonna head back up here, considering there's a Aether crystal over here. Wanted to see if I could go in. You know, for saying that there isn't a lower level, I think there's a lower level. Just maybe. Alright, next one's not for a little bit, so I'll just head on over to the quest objective. And then I think I'm gonna take a quick break, because I've been talking a lot. And I need to rest my throat a tiny bit. Plus, we've been going for over an hour now. So let's head over to this quest objective, and then we'll take a quick break. Of course, it's a spiral. Let's see, where does it say the next Aether current is? Southwest. Oh, okay. So we're actually heading in the right direction. Yeah, there's one that's a little bit, not too far from where we're headed. Like right about here, maybe? Okay, there's everyone again. Okay. It's been over an hour, and I want to rest a tiny bit. So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. Let's see. Yeah, let's just stand right here. Time to get up, stretch your legs, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to, and I'll be right back. Alright. Let's get back to it. Got a bunch more people to talk to. Let's talk to the... What's his name again? Kokol de Canal. Dunkol. Sure, we'll go with that name. While many of the facilities within the central circuit seem to be visible from the upper levels, the more secretive work must be carried out behind closed doors. I would hope so. I was expecting the Skysteel manufactory, but instead I find the village smithy. He hasn't even realized we're here. Or perhaps he has realized, but just doesn't care. That sounds more likely. For a closely guarded secret, you can see practically everything from the outside, even with the magical barrier surrounding it. Surely the Forum hath already petitioned the aid of the Loperts, given their familiarity with such technologies. That sounds like exactly the kind of thing they wouldn't do. Is he talking to himself? He looks lost in thought, although it seems he's hit something of a stumbling block. Perhaps you'd like to break the ice? This is the man you seek. Do not startle him. Hello? Don't startle the Lolafels.
I could swap them out. No, been there, done that. Damn near lost my eyebrows. Think, Coco, think! We'd be well on our way to paradise. Visionaries patting themselves on the backs for their grand accomplishments if you'd only think!
Yes, that does sound rather lovely.
Yeah! I mean, Master Force, you know, what a pleasant surprise. We're not blasting off already, are we?
The schedule remains unchanged, for better or worse.
I could never get over the voices
Which is why
they
the
have for
Forum has
Lolafels.
elected to accept assistance in resolving the ether burner conundrum.
Huh. Not seen you lot down here before.
There are Archons among their number, but engineering is not their expertise. Nevertheless, the Forum concedes the slim possibility that they may have insights to offer. If not, you are at liberty to return them to the surface, by whatever means you see fit.
What?
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Aye, aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace. As the name ought to tell you, the ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise, and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding. Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our arc. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb. But it ain't perfect. According to my calculations, to travel to the moon and back fast enough for the Forum's liking, the conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient. A measly 6%, you say? But if I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
Yeah, I kind of thought that at first too, and I'm like, no wait.
Consulted with the Loporits?
Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer. The moon's propulsion systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive. It is no easy feat to convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say, and as I most certainly do not.
Yes, exactly! Damn it all, I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology! You're trying to drive me mad!
Do you speak of Allegan refined adamantite, perchance?
Of course, he would just know exactly.
You know of it?
Of course, he's our resident nerd.
Only in the most general terms, I'm afraid. 'Twas an alloy of Allegan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded. As I recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Aye, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some ends like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through. Ain't a living soul that knows how to make it though.
Well,
we were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the northern empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency will be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
well, maybe we can figure something out.
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice. Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with. Drive calls from Ragnarok-class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need. According to the Gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards. And the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up.
That sounds like a job for us.
It's rough going in there, even for the cream. Not sure they'd make it out alive.
Weren't we near that part of the Ragnarok when we went to destroy Bahamut?
Yep. I remember that. You want me to go and fetch the what's-its? That's right. I forget. I rushed through. I did the first coil with my FC, and then I just rushed through the second and third one and didn't really pay attention to the story that much. But I do remember that that was one of the places that we were near when doing coils. Want me to go and fetch the what's-its? The White Raven's ghost. It haunts me. This sounds like some job for someone else. Yeah, I think at the what's-its.
That may be for the best, though you doubtless find the task too dull for your liking.
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea alone, so handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option. Rather, if we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously... Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Oh yeah, just calling all our friends.
Course. The floor is yours.
What's all this? Gathering firewood, so to speak. We alone can accomplish little, but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us heavensward.
Wow, really? That whole line.
Alphino. The Scions have need of you.
Firewood and Heavensward. Come on, bro.
Understood. I will contact the Lord Commander and dispatch our finest at once.
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the 12-Wood expedition myself.
Are you aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
Logically, such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of ether.
What about, like,
Any
the jail
extant
cells in Az's Law?
instrumentation or devices would have likely found their way into the hands of etherologists or enthusiasts.
Magical artifacts of Allagan design? The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all. Are there other ways we may offer aid? No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
Is there anything in Othard that might be of use to you?
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad. Any road. If you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics. Some of them can hold enough ether to summon a whole damn primal. Combine a source like that with the ether burner, and 3, 2, 1, kaboom!
I gather you heard his explosive enthusiasm. Might you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need to finish your starship.
This is feeling a lot like when we fixed the
I am glad
elevator.
for the work, in truth. Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
And built the giant Talos in Shadowbringer at the end of
Then why are we all
Shadowbringers.
still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking, and I'm a born plunderer. I'll be an old Charlian before you know it. Start mixing the grog.
I'm certain that can be arranged. Thank you all, and do be careful.
Just like that.
Aye, just like that. Our refined adamantite is on its way. Now let us consider our next steps, shall we? There's yet much to be done.
I really can't tell because of his stupid stiff upper lip. You can't tell if he's like proud of him or like what he's thinking. He's probably proud of him, but like doesn't want to say anything. We got to go to Amelian's to get the real understanding. I'm confident that even the deadliest of Allagan defense mechanisms are no match for our allies. At this rate, some of them might soon have as many accomplishments to their name as a certain warrior of light. Oh no. I'll make sure of that. That's not the case. Considering how much a fuss he made at the time, I do not see why he takes every opportunity to bring it up. It was just firewood. Time and time again, it seems that Allagan something or other is either the cause of or the solution of our problems. Yeah. Yes, Graha. Thank you for your observation. To think that the self-same material that once launched Daldmud will now be used to help ferry mankind to the moon. That's poetry. There's poetry in that. What serendipitous irony that the remnants of the 7th Umbral Calamity would become the keys to the mankind's salvation. Never more certain have I been that Master Louis Swaz watcheth over us from the ethereal sea. Sorry. First the Telefroy, and now the final days. Heh, no one can accuse the Ilsabard contingent of backing down from a challenge. Of course, they weren't all so committed to the cause when we first set out. But after seeing the example set by you, Alphinaud and the others, the challenge was palpable. They couldn't help but believe. There are no oaths or contracts binding the members of the Ilsabard contingent, and in many ways, it was even more loosely organized than the Crystal Braves. Nevertheless, I knew none would refuse this call to arms. Truly, we have been blessed with trustworthy and dependable allies. Okay, I was gonna try and do a voice for this guy, but I don't think that would be a good idea. Practicing your... What is that? I guess he's trying to say? Appreciate you doing all this, but I ain't getting me hopes up just yet. Though Bahamut is long gone, the interment hulks are far from safe. It could be much worse, of course. They won't have to fight their way past Mercidian dragons. Nor is there any danger the Elder Primal might be summoned again. Even so, I dare say that there are still a few elegant creations and contraptions remaining to bar our friends away. I only hope that Grandfather watches over them. Hey, Cryo, let's finish up this quest. It's times like these we are reminded of how famous or infamous Alphinaud has become. Who'd have thought he could achieve so much with a single link brawl conversation? As we're expecting rather a lot of visitors in the near future, I'd best return to the surface and inform the relevant parties. And I'm sure Border Patrol is going to be very happy about letting a pirate in. Yep, definitely. I also have a contact of my own that might be worth a try. What's this gonna be? That's for me to know and you to find out. And on that note, I leave matters here in your capable hands. Best of luck. Nice. So instead of building a Talos like we did in Shadowbringers, we're building a giant spaceship. Sounds good to me. Meanwhile, in Ul'dah.
Our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allagan make. Summon the best and brightest of our immortal flames and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and Brass Blades for support as you must. Papashan, send word to the guilds. We will require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials.
Why does her voice sound a bit different?
Viergeist, we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins.
I forget who these guys are.
And to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
As commander of the Stone Torches, my son Zimberg will personally see it done.
I think these guys were involved in one of the job quests.
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Tizona's blade clear the way. Lord Lolorito, I pray you take charge of the search for Allagan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults. Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
The final days descend upon our world. If circumstances are truly as dire as they say, Ul'dah's best efforts may be for naught. And yet, when we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth? That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together. It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now. Ul'dah will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future. You know your duties. I, Nanamo Ul'Namo, 17th in the line of Ul, bid you good luck and Godspeed.
Meanwhile, in the Black Shroud. Here we got a hentai protagonist leading the 12'swood. The archers, and then there's the bard guy, right? Oh no, that's not them. Never mind.
We fielded a goodly number. but our ranks are heavy with healers, and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses.
Oh, you
Still,
can't just heal him to death?
It has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
Oh, right. I guess they could come and help.
In that case, might I suggest taking us along?
Commander Hext, what are you doing here?
None of the shards in Girabania are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbors a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
While it pains me to admit it, you are right. Our deficiency so plain to see.
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the scions assigned to the Shroud.
That's right. Her and
I know this forest
Papalymo.
well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
They're the scions that you encounter if you start in Gridania.
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
I won't let it all be for nothing. I promise you, Papalymo.
Meanwhile, in Korthus.
There you are! We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already...
Yeah, Hoshtafant's grave.
That was a roar! A dragon's roar!
Meanwhile, in the Ruby Sea.
And so, in summation, the Eastern Alliance, as well as the Honorable Lord Lolorito himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these treasures of the divine, and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid. Is that...
Hancock? What a surprise this is. And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask.
I had forgotten his name. What's this? Well then. That was some interesting cutscenes. Let's go ahead and talk to everyone again, see, confident I'll be getting no match for allies. Yeah, we talked to that. And Cryo already made her way out. And now it's playing, Footfalls in the background. Or Endwalker Footfalls, whatever. No job too small. Alphinaud is resisting the urge to pat himself on the back. Probably shouldn't do that yet. This is the instrumental version. Though our friends are searching for refined adamantite and sacred relics, we will only know if they meet your requirements once they have arrived. In the meantime, is there aught else we might do to be of service? Ha! You've already done more than enough! If I had to say, though, I could use someone who knows a thing or two about elegant technology. While you have our resident nerd here, we could be very helpful. You there, the lad with the red eyes and matching hair. You seem to know more than your average scholar. Ha! If only Master Kokol knew how right he was. While he and Graha establish a rapport, why don't we help with preparations for the Great Exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond the terms of our arrangement, but I propose this not to curry favor. As confident as I am that we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This would also be an opportunity to familiarize ourselves with the new logistics of traversing the great expanse. And if nothing else, it beats twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the adamantite. Well, ain't a bunch of you helpful buggers. If you mind to lend me a hand, I know where you ought to go. Charlie and Hamulet is lousy with researchers and scholarly types, busying themselves preparing for the Exodus. Pah, the lot need all the help they can get. Nope, sounds like that's where we should go. Well then, off we go. Okay, now I think there's an aether current to the south. Hold on, let me talk to these two first. I shall endeavor to provide Master Kokol with whatever information he should require. I'll admit, without refined adamantite, I ain't got a bloody clue how else I could get the aether burner performing any better. If you don't come up with the goods, we're buggered. Alright. Now, I believe there's an aether current down to the southwest here. Yes? Oh, actually, it's more like over here. Let's see. Yep, to the west. Let's go ahead and grab that. Yep, there it is. Gotta climb up these rocks. Let's clear that off. Let's head on up to the hamlet. It's probably faster for me to just walk. I was thinking maybe I could... No, because the closest teleport I can do is the Archeon, then I gotta go all the way around this way. And then I'll just end up... That's just basically backtracking, so I'll just make my way all up here. Kind of a pain to have to walk everywhere, but... I've made comments about unlocking flying too early in these games. And I made my thoughts made. I've shared my comments with how Dragonflight gave you flying at the very beginning, and how I didn't like that. I mean, I enjoyed the flying, but it took away from the experience, in my opinion. Okay. Oh wait, I thought we were closer. Nope, we just got to the starting point. I guess I didn't really need to come up here and get that aether current then, because we were just gonna pass here anyway. Which I figured that's how they designed it, because they actually do a good job of putting the aether currents on the path that you're going to be taking during MSQ. But I wanted to get it anyway, because there are some that are not quite that are a bit off the beaten path. All right, here's everyone. Go ahead and talk to them. In order to protect the secrets of the Central Circuit, the researchers must navigate a bewildering maze of paperwork before they are permitted to return to the surface. I suppose it's no different than any other aspect of Charlene society. We do love our bureaucracy. It's very much a mirror of the city above, which is perhaps how it became to be called the Charlene Hamlet. What a quaint little settlement this is. A shame it is hidden underground. I don't mind a bit of heavy lifting, but I draw the line at paperwork. Estinian, we figured that. So much as a wave of wave a sheaf of documents at me, and I'll put my lance through it. Appropriate reaction. As surprised as I was to learn the Forum planned to send everyone to the moon, I cannot imagine how the common folk must feel about it. Do my senses deceive me? In the Shadow of yon corner? One can hope this leadeth not to mischievous undertakings. What? What's he talking about? I don't know what he's talking about. From what I can tell, a lot of people actually live down here. I don't know how much help we can offer, but I dare say they'll benefit from some of that fresh inspiration Scholar Montagny mentioned. Let's start by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. Let's meet by the Aetheryte once our work is done. No, I'm going straight to the Aetheryte because I gotta make sure to attune to that thing. Looks like there's also an Aether Current quest here. Let's see. Let the good times troll. Is that gonna be an Aether Current quest? Yes, it is. I'll pick up the Chocobo Keep while I'm here too. I'm pretty much never gonna use them. Like, I used them in ARR, but once I realized I actually needed to spend my gil, I just started using teleports more often. Because I hit the gil cap on my free trial before I think it was before I finished. It was before I finished post MSQ, for sure. I didn't need to. It wasn't before I finished ARR. I don't think. Oh, there's someone. Let's see if they need some help. Offering to help? That's very kind, but I should be able to organize the rest of the documents by myself. It mostly lists the things we'll need once we arrive on the moon, and then whichever star we choose as our new home. My duties largely concern the maintenance of living conditions, so I'll be a lot busier after we depart. I hear that our lunar collaborators have come down to assist in our efforts. I'm looking forward to finally meeting them in person, after having communicated with them in such a limited capacity thus far. To be perfectly honest, I'm not even the slightest idea what they look like. I do hope they're not enormous looming giants. Why, I would much prefer them something small, fluffy, like a hatted rabbit that ran by. I'm gonna make no comment on that. Alright, oh, there's someone else. Silken Grin? That's... Okay, he's supposed to be resting his chin on his... Okay. Hello. Are you one of the new helpers? Working on the Aether Burner? Oh dear. I hear things have come to a standstill on that front. Even so, I choose that over my current duties, checking and loading samples day in, day out. It's tiring, thankless work. Still, no one will be cross if I misplace a few legumes or what have you. The Forum's got enough on their plate as it is. What with deciding who gets to board the Ark and when, lots of powerful people have opinions about that. My heart goes out to Master Fortunald and the others. Hardly get a moment of rest, I expect. Do they even have the time to sleep? Probably not. Might be why he's so grumpy. Alright. Can I go in here? No. So where's the last one I need to get? Oh, there we go. I'm pretty sure I just passed him. Didn't even notice him. Helping with the Ark? Even with all the power Master Kokol's managed to squeeze out of the Aether Burner, it's still not enough apparently. And now I hear the final days have arrived. Horrible creatures running rampant all over. If only we'd begun the exodus sooner. People are dying, and there'll be no end to it if we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We spent years preparing for this moment. Believe in the plan, and all will be well. Sure, we'll go with that. Okay, let's go ahead and meet up with everyone. And, oh, there's some Loports. Crikey! I wasn't expecting to see you here, Brilliant. I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to say goodbye, and for, having those other Loports attack you. Terrible misunderstanding, that. Not to worry, though, as all have since recovered from the rather savage beating and you administered. They bear no ill will. Well, perhaps a little, on account of the savagery, but time heals all wounds. Most, anyway. How marvelous! It is to see you again. You'll be pleased to hear I've learned much since our fascinating discussion in the Curatorium. It's all thanks to Urianger, you see. He's taught me the finer points of cooking, which, despite my name, I knew very little about. So many dishes, and so many hard-to-pronounce words. Actually, I was rather hoping he'd show me how to bake an Archon loaf. It's quite popular, I hear, though it doesn't sound like it contains any flavor to speak of. Still, it's that sort of thing your kind enjoys. I shall make enough to last the whole journey. Maybe we shouldn't have put Urianger in charge of food. Hum, hum, hum. But enjoy the simple delights of Atheres. 'Twould appear the Loports have infiltrated Charlian's most heavily guarded facility. How, I know not. That's convenient. Fancy meeting you here, Brilliant. Our friends in the forum brought us to see their teeny tiny toy boat, which is quite impressive considering they didn't use any creation magics. What we're really interested in is Atheres itself, though we now find ourselves in sort of funny underground miniature version of it. Well, yeah. That's just how it goes. We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears they're rather preoccupied. Honestly, all the time to prepare and they're still not ready. I suppose we'll just have to show ourselves around, or at least that's what we were planning to do until we chanced upon Urianger and your good self. Since we're both dawdling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest. Wouldn't that be fun? Sure. Alright, I'm getting a little bit tired, so I'm gonna want to wrap it up soon, but I want to go ahead and do this Aether Current quest first. Let's head over here and do this quest. Vexed Veterinarian. What do you have to do? Let the good times troll. A veterinarian in Charlian Hamlet is wrangling with the beast of a problem. Excuse me, ma'am. I couldn't help but notice that you've a way about you that simply screams, I have an affinity with creatures of the wild, and since I'm never wrong about such things, might I trouble you? I guess? You see, amongst the troops of trolls living in the outer circuit, I came upon one who was sick beyond measure. I took the poor creature in at once, and saw him healed, of course, but when I attempted to return him to his rightful home, he flew into a panic, as if he could not bear the thought of going back. To make matters worse, the troll saw fit to escape into a den of annals. I would go after him, but I'm not so fumble-footed. I'll scare him off, like as not, and be torn limb from limb for my pains by the fiends. So I turn to you. Would you seek out this troll of which I spoke? I shall provide you with his favorite food, and with that, you should be able to calm the piteous thing. Hopefully that will be enough to see his senses restored, and for him to come hurrying back. And though I shudder to think of it, if any of those fell annals seek to impede you, or pester that troll, make these beasts regret their interference. Oh, and don't worry, you'll be rewarded for your efforts. That's all I needed to hear. Alright, where are we headed? Over there? Alright. Oh, don't worry, you'll be compensated for your efforts. Say no more. Alright, where is this thing? Let's see if I can avoid aggroing anything. My training in Murica has paid off. Oops, wrong button. Okay, use this, that should kill him. Probably could have switched to the other guy. There we go. Okay, Mr. Troll, here's some food. Grrr. Wah. Oh, that was pretty easy. Let's teleport back to the hamlet and wrap up that quest. And I think we're going to be done for today. To be honest, I think part of my endurance problem is that because of my, this chair is not that comfortable. Unfortunately, I mentioned on Twitter that I had to return a new chair that I got, so I didn't. So now I'm using my old chair again. I'm sitting on 2 pillows, which is not exactly that comfortable. Anyway, let's wrap up this quest, and then I'll probably wrap up the stream. Grrr. Look, he's returned. I can't thank you enough. I know they may not look it, but trolls are really quite intelligent. Indeed, they are an intrinsic part of the woodlands of Labyrinthos, and keep it healthy and thriving. Though we've a responsibility to put down the more violent and unruly ones, most trolls, such as this one, are kind, docile things. In fact, my friend here has a real chance of becoming a leader of his tribe, perhaps even guardian of the forest someday. This is supposed to be a reference to... I can picture the art, but I don't remember what the name is. I think it's like, not where the wild things are, it's like Beast of the Wild or something. It is we who saw these creatures removed from their natural habitats and relocated within Labyrinthos. Thus, we've responsibility to watch over them, to ensure they are well, and it would be too cruel to dispose of one simply because they're under the weather. Ah yes, your reward. Here, as promised. Now then, it's high time I saw this fellow return to the outer circuit. Farewell, adventurer. Nice, that's another Aether Current down. That means we got 2 more blue quests, MSQ, and then 3 more overworld for Labyrinthos. But that's gonna have to wait for another day. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up here for now. That's gonna be all for today. We actually made some decent progress on MSQ this time, because last time we literally only got 1 quest done. Even though it was a long quest, it still was just the very beginning. This time we got like 3 or 4 quests done. Let's see, where are we now? We are on Wise Guides. So we did like 3 quests today. Yeah, we did 3 quests today and unlocked the Charlene Hamlet. I think that's some pretty good progress. But that's going to be all for today. Hope you guys had a good time. And next planned stream, I'm going to see about streaming on Saturday, but I'm still probably going to wait until Sunday. But we'll see. I'll let you guys know, assuming Twitter survives. I'll let you guys know on Twitter. I really need to look into other social media platforms, but I'll worry about that later. Anyway, that's going to be all for today. Next planned stream is on Sunday. But until then, goodbye.